Hello, this is Laura Rogers with the League of Women Voters of Portland, and you are watching the Video Voters Guide or listening to our podcast. We are here today to talk with candidates running in the November 5th, 2024 general election. We are grateful for the support of the Carol and Velma Sailing Foundation, the League of Women Voters of Portland Education Fund, the WIS Foundation, and our media partner, Metro East Media. With me is Sharon Nasset, running for mayor of the city of Portland. Welcome, Sharon Nasset.
Well, thank you very much. And thank you so much for having this meeting. I really appreciate it and all that the League does. Greatly.
Please tell us a little bit about yourself and why you are running for this office.
Well, I have lived in Portland for a very long time, and like a lot of people, I really love it. I have been a citizen advocate probably most of my life, but definitely since the 80s on a lot of issues having to do with land use, having to do with the economy, transportation, housing. I was a real estate broker for a very long time, and so I understand first-time home buying as well as what kind of needs to be happening with some of our real estate. And I enjoy meeting people and helping them go forward with what they need. And that's kind of what I think that needs to be happening right now with a mayor, somebody that can draw consensus and has actually been on the environmental issue side of the platforms.
What are the most important factors in the mayor's development of a budget?
I think consensus. I think drawing together what the people that work for the city and the people that use the services think are the best things, and where we have shortcomings, where we need to make changes, and how those changes will look. I also think looking at our utilities. Our utilities are really, really expensive, and we often leave that off the table. And heading towards solar on our rooftops and going towards a greener environment right now on some of our utilities would be really helpful. But the other thing is I think that the downtown offices, except for of course City Hall, are really expensive to keep up. And once we have taken care of issues downtown, I think we should rent those properties to people that want to pay to shine up marble and hoity-toity things, and have more availability on the southeast side. There's a lot of buildings there. It'd be easier access for citizens. You can have better hours for them and stuff like that. And it would be a lot less expensive.
In hiring Portland's first city administrator, what would be your priorities in terms of experience, expertise, and working styles for that position?
I would like somebody that's experienced with being inclusive and being able to practice what it takes to listen to views other than your own. And then to bring, again, like I say, consensus to the table as far as, okay, management by objective. This is what we want. This is where we want to go. This is what we do not want. And here are the byproducts. And then when do we look at our goals to see if we're going in the correct direction of giving us what we want as opposed to what we don't want? And I think then the person being able to draw a bottom line and say, okay, this is it. On this side, we have this. On this side, we have that. And these are the conclusions of the aftermath of what they will bring. And then before we execute things, I think we need to figure out fully how we're going to execute them. We've put together some stuff that we thought were good ideas that just didn't work out to execute the way they were. And the last thing is I think it's more important that they're strong on business. We're one of the largest ports in the nation, the economic engine of our state are the ports and industrial areas. And nobody has paid any attention to I shouldn't say nobody, beg your pardon, enough attention has not been paid in that area. And that is our economic engine. And I think it's more important that they are are interested in a bottom line and in of course protecting the environment, but knowing that business, we have plenty of people in government. Business end is more important to me.
You are listening to the Video Voters Guide interview and podcast of Sharon Nasset, who is running for mayor of the city of Portland.
Thank you.
Which of any strategies described in the draft 2024 Portland Housing Production Strategy would you support? Please explain.
Well, it's a very large document. I agree with the inclusiveness. I agree with the fact that we need to have a lot of variety in the housing, not only for the elderly, but people that have different challenges, people that are raising small families. And I believe that that means that we should be focusing on boarding houses and rooming houses and the availability of taking our current housing stock and utilizing it fully. I am much more into doing that than I do not believe our homes are bulldozer bait. I do not believe that we should be having landfill to the point that we don't have beautiful side yards anymore. And I, as a real estate agent mostly for a long time, associate, and then broker, think that putting these large properties that are real estate on commercial land takes away our anchors to our economy. It puts people on commercial streets where they are not used to the sounds, the lights, the smells, and it takes away. We end up taking away from our vital services by offering tax incentives, and then those people end up parking on the streets. And what could be there instead is a large anchor business. The other thing is commercial properties need to not be changed into residential zoning, but for them to stay commercial and allow resident. There has always been night watchmen, people that had businesses where they had employees that stayed as part of their jobs, and allowing them to realize it's going to smell at night. There's going to be a lot of business. There's going to be a lot of traffic. There's going to be a lot of lights. And if you want to live in a commercial business building, that's how it's going to be. The other thing is I think we've gone overboard on trying to save ourselves from earthquakes. You may not even be in that building. It might catch fire. We might have a flood or other problems between a once in 1,000 earthquake. And by having all these buildings that we don't use, or by spending all the money or changing them, the crowns of the buildings are gorgeous. Look at them, make sure they're structurally engineered correctly. Put a little sign on them that says, and then reopen them, but keeping them zoned as they are, relaxing the zoning enough to allow people to live in the buildings as they used to before. I do not believe in land grants, because what happens is the nonprofit owns the property, and they are allowed to use it in ways for funding and different things, and the people end up owning what is above it, which depreciates, not the land that appreciates.
Thank you, Sharon Nasset. This concludes our Video Voters Guide and podcast interview of the League of Women Voters of Sharon Nasset, running for mayor of the city of Portland. Election day, Tuesday, November 5th. Be sure to inform yourself about the candidates and exercise your right to vote. Thank you for your interest.